Assalamu alaikum. How are you all? This is Rizwana Mukhtar, lecturer, Department of Physics. As the condition of our country is getting worse day by day, so I hope you all are well and safe at your home. Please stay at your home and just pray to Almighty that everything becomes normal as soon as possible. Today I am going to discuss about your MCQ questions. So let's start our today's lecture. Today I am going to discuss about your MCQ questions. Here you can see there's 3 MCQ questions is written on the board. Our first question is, what is the unit of work? Here you can see that there's 4 options. 1. Joule, Newton, Watt, Kelvin. And you know that the unit of work is joule. So our right answer will be A. This type of question is very important for your exam. You must memorize the unit of every quantities so you can got 1 mark very easily. Our next question is, what is the dimension of energy? Here you can see number 1 ml T inverse 2, number 2 m L inverse 1 T inverse 2, number C ml square T inverse 2, number D m L inverse 2. So you know that the dimension of energy is ml square T inverse 2. So our right answer is number C. And you should remember that the dimension of energy and work both are same. The unit of energy and work is same. The dimension of energy and work is same, and both are scalar quantities. Now, what type of energy transformation take place when an object falls down? So here you can see there's 4 options. Number 1, potential energy to kinetic energy to sound energy. Number 2, chemical energy to sound energy to kinetic energy. Number C, mechanical energy to kinetic energy to potential energy. And number D, potential to sound energy to kinetic energy. Now just assume that when an object falls from a height, what is really happen? As you know that whenever we got anything above the ground, that object gathers some energy, which energy is known as potential energy. And when the object starts to fall down, that means the energy is converted into kinetic energy. And if the object falls on the ground, then it will surely make a sound. So we can easily say that our option A is correct. That means potential energy to kinetic energy, then sound energy. Our question number 4 is, potential energy depends on mass, height, acceleration due to gravity. Now we know that EP equals to mgh. This is the equation of potential energy. Here m, mass is changeable. G, it's a constant value. H, it's also changed. That means potential energy depends on mass and height, not on G. So our right answer will be 1 and 2. So the option 1 or option A is our right answer. Now, question number 5. Efficiency can never be 100%. Has no unit, is a scalar quantity. You know that efficiency means the ratio of given energy and the energy we get from a machine, or the ratio of output power and input power. and you know that we never get the amount of power we are given to the engine, and the same amount of power we can get back. That means option 1 is correct, and efficiency can never be 100%. Has no unit. As you know that efficiency means output power by input power. So the unit of power is what? Either it's input or output. So you can see the efficiency has no unit. Number 3 option is a scalar quantity. As you know that efficiency doesn't depend on direction, it just depends on the magnitude. So efficiency, so this one is also correct. So our correct answer will be 1, 2 and 3. Now our question number 6. Which is the correct equation? Here you can see there's 4 options. First is P equals to FV. Second, EK equals to P by 2ISM. C, P equals to Fs. Number D, EK equals to P square by M. Now, for this type of question, we need to calculate it. As you know that P equals to M AS by T. And we also know that F equals to MA and velocity V equals to S by T. So instead of MA we can write F, and instead of S by T we can write down V. So P equals to FV. Our second option is given EK equals to P by twice M. You know that kinetic energy EK equals to half mv square. We also know that the momentum, that is P equals to mv, so that you can write V equals to P by M. By putting this value here, we get P square by M square. That means P square by twice M. Our option C is P equals to Fs. As you know that this equation is applicable for work, that means W equals to Fs. Number D, Ek equals to P square by M. Here you can see that we got the relation between kinetic energy and momentum is Ek equals to P square by. Here you can see that we got the relation between kinetic energy and momentum is Ek equals to P square by twice M. So you can see the right answer is option A. Now question number 7. If the velocity of a freely falling body becomes double, then kinetic energy will be. There's 4 options as well: half, 2 times, 4 times or 16 times. As you know that Ek or kinetic energy equals to half mv square. Here you can see that they ask that if the velocity become double, that means if V become 2V. So you can write down this is 4V square. That means 4 half mv square. So if the velocity become double, then the kinetic energy will be 4 times. So our right option is option C. Now question number 8. That is, where's the potential energy will be maximum for a freely falling body? Suppose there's an object above the ground or on the top of a building, And now if the object starts to fall, here's our question is where the potential energy is maximum. Always remember that the height, more the potential energy. As on the top of any building, the potential energy will be maximum. When the object starts to fall down, this potential energy starts to convert into kinetic energy. So, our right option is at the top. Okay, now if the question they ask that where the kinetic energy will be maximum, then our answer will be at the bottom, because when object starts to freely fall, then the potential energy starts to convert into kinetic energy, and whenever it touches the ground or just before touching the ground, all the potential energy is converted into kinetic energy. So at the bottom, the kinetic energy will be maximum for a freely falling body, and at the top, the potential energy will be maximum. Our next question is 1 horsepower equals to what watt? It's a normal knowledge based question. You know that 1 horsepower equals to 746 watt. So our right option is option B. Next one is 1 megawatt equals to what watt? 1 megawatt means 10 to the power 6 watt. So option C is the correct one. Now 1 kilowatt hour equals to what joule? 1 kilowatt hour. 1 kilowatt hour means, as you know that kilowatt means 10 to the power 3 watt. Now 1 hour means 3600 second. So, and watt second means joule. That means 1 kilowatt hour equals to 3.6 into 10 to the power 6 joule. So our right option is option. Now, next question is, what is the amount of work done when force applied is 500 Newton and displacement along the direction of force is 50 meter? Here the given informations are applied force, that means F equals to 500 Newton, and displacement, that means S equals to 50 meter, and they want to know what amount of work done. As you know that W equals to F S. Now F means 500, S means 50, that means 25 into whenever you get it in scientific mode, that means 25 into 10 to the power 3 joule. So our right answer is answer 1. Now you can see there's a diagram. Here they are given 2 points A and B, and there's also they give the distance. The distance between A to B is X, and the distance between A to ground is H. Now our question is, in the point B, that means in that point, what will be kinetic energy? We have to find out the kinetic energy for point B. As you know that kinetic energy, that means EK equals to half mv square. Now, as it's a freely falling body, that means u square plus 2gh. And for freely falling body, u is always 0, 2g. Now, for the point B, height for point B is, as we are calculating the kinetic energy, that means this is the height for kinetic energy at point B, that is x. So we get into 2gx, that means mgx. So our right answer is answer D.